Here we are on March 28th, and pretty much the only quarterback domino that we're really waiting to fall is Aaron Rodgers. And honestly, I don't know what's going on with that situation, but it also speaks to the situation that's going on with former 49ers number 3 overall pick, Trey Lance. And you guys know the story. The San Francisco 49ers traded multiple first round draft picks to move up with the idea of taking a quarterback. And it's been expressed and explained to us over and over again that they had an idea of who they wanted. They just knew that at 3, they would have the option to pick between the 3 available quarterbacks, which were Mac Jones, Trey Lance, and Justin Fields. Well, as we've come to find out, it wasn't really Justin Fields. It was between Mac Jones and Trey Lance. And from everything we've heard since then, they really moved up for Mac Jones. And it appears in the late hours of as they approached the draft, it kind of shifted gears a little bit for whatever reasons there are, which kind of makes it funny that Mac Jones is on the 49ers roster right now, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about the future of Trey Lance because this week he was added to a CFL team's negotiation list. And in my research of trying to understand what that meant, it means that this team now has the exclusive rights to sign Trey Lance if he chooses to go play in the CFL. So there is a potential chance that Trey Lance might be done in the NFL for now. Now, honestly, we understand that this Trey Lance situation was quite the situation. The 2022 training camp was literally insane. I've never experienced anything like it. The way that it was reported on and it was discussed, it was wild. It was one of the most toxic situations I'd ever seen in covering this team, but it is what it is. And Brock Purdy wins that job. He ultimately gets traded to the Cowboys for a 4th-round pick, which actually, hindsight being what it is a great return, all things considered. And now Trey Lance is a free agent. You have seen the 49ers. They have signed Mac Jones. Justin Fields got a big payday and appears he is going to be the starter for the Jets. And then you saw Zach Wilson. He's signed to be the backup in Miami. And you look across the quarterback landscape, pretty much all the backup jobs have been filled or the backup quarterbacks have been signed. Obviously, there will be teams who add in maybe some camp arms or additional depth throughout the offseason, but it feels like, for the most part, those jobs have been filled. So what does that leave for Trey Lance? Well, the UFL kicks off today. So I think the first game is today. They've already had their training camps, so he's clearly not playing in the UFL. But does that make the CFL a real possibility? I believe the team, I think it was, and I might be misspeaking on the name. I think it's the Rough Riders, Saskatchewan Rough Riders, who grabbed his rights, if I'm not mistaken. And I believe as well that is a team that his dad, Trey Lance's dad, actually played for. So considering that, I don't think it would be the worst thing for Trey Lance to go to the CFL and start. Now, see, it's a double-edged sword here because we all understand when Trey Lance was drafted, what was the theme? Give Trey Lance reps. He needs to play. He needs to play, and he needs to play. He only threw, I think, it was 300 times in college, which was historically low rate. And so we knew he needed to play in the NFL. He just needed to play. He needed reps. And we know the story. He started off hot in training camp. Then he simmered. Then he got hurt. Then there was this weird situation where they're trying to have a 2 quarterback system. Veterans pushed back against that. And obviously on and on it went. Now he did win a crucial game at the end of the year, a must-win game for the San Francisco 49ers against the Houston Texans in that start that he got to help them get into the playoffs that year. But The job went back to Jimmy Garoppolo. And then heading into that following training camp, that is the Brock Purdy draft, where he's taken as Mr. Irrelevant. Jimmy Garoppolo's on the side field the whole time. The 49ers hedge again by bringing Jimmy Garoppolo back because they were so unconfident in Trey Lance's abilities. So they bring Jimmy, who they said goodbye, back. I mean, you guys know the whole situation. It was absolutely insane. But still, Trey Lance is the guy. I mean, even Brock Purdy talked about this situation on the recent podcast where he kind of went viral for basically saying, once Jimmy Garoppolo was in, I knew I was going to play at one point this year. And so Trey gets injured. He breaks his ankle week 2 against the Seattle Seahawks on a run up the middle. And that was it. That sealed his fate, unfortunately, with the team. And it opened up the eventual door that let them get Brock Purdy on the field. There's a world that exists that we don't know who Brock Purdy is because Trey Lance stayed healthy or Jimmy Garoppolo stayed healthy, which is crazy to think about, honestly. So the point being is, with his situation, he was third string quarterback with the Dallas Cowboys. He needs to play. So I think he probably should go to the CFL. But this is the double-edged sword here. He has to be the starter. Like, he has to start. If he can't win a starting job in the CFL, that will obviously be a huge detriment and just really bad optics for getting back into the NFL. So I'm really curious to see what he would do, because to me, it's more of a pride thing. I think he's 24 years old. He's still a really young quarterback. Does he take that option? Does he say, all right, let's go play. Let's get onto the field. I know he believes he's an NFL quarterback. I believe he got a start last year against the Cowboys. It was kind of shaky. It was very inconsistent performance. So I'm sure he believes he's an NFL quarterback, but he has to weigh out those options. Do I try to just stick around in the NFL, find a backup job, maybe a situation that applies to like Brock, where you're waiting your turn and injuries occur and you make your way into the starting lineup and the rest is history from there? Maybe that's an opportunity he would prefer over going into the CFL. I'm not really sure, but it is a fascinating kind of situation because although it's not looking great for Trey right now, he's still very young. I really do think that he could turn this around if he gets the reps. Like, he needs to go through it. Like, he needs to be able to play. And if that means playing a season in the CFL, because again, if he goes and lights it up and they do some good things there's absolutely a way he can work his way back. I mean, how many of the great quarterbacks have we heard of that have taken that similar route, that were kind of cast away to Jeff Garcia, I think, got his some run in the CFL before coming back to the NFL. Kurt Warner got run in the CFL before coming back. Doug Flutie, guys like that. So there's definitely a path. It's just, I think you have to be willing to kind of take that hit on the ego of being a number 3rd overall pick to then playing in the CFL. But I think he should. I think he should. I think he needs to play. I think he needs the reps. And I think if he does that and he succeeds, he would be back in the NFL because he's so young. And again, that's the thing, is he needs to develop. So he still has many years ahead of him. So latch on with the team, go be a starting quarterback, and get yourself back into a starting role in the NFL. And I think that could be the way it goes. But I'm curious to know what you guys think. Is Trey Lance, does he have a future in the league, or is that starting to come to an end? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.